Hello, bonjour, namaste, ni hao, and oh, hi everybody, what is going on? It is Galeriot here, and welcome back to the YouTube channel once again for another Danmachi Battle Chronicle video. And today we are continuing on with some more content on the anniversary, and this time around we're gonna do a little bit of something special here. Now, of course, I've already pulled Harmonia and Aphrodite, and their showcase and dedicated review video will be coming out most likely tomorrow, but today, to just get an idea of how they perform in-game and to give you guys my opinion of them so far from the little I've tested, I want to do a test of strength video because a lot of you guys seem to be struggling a little bit with the new test of strength that has released, of course, against Cadmus. And of course, I want to show you guys a team I used to clear it. Now, I'm not going to be using the team I used on my live stream to clear it because I did clear it on the live stream I did on day one of the second part of the anniversary launch day thingy. I didn't know how to best describe that day, but on that day, we did do a clear of the test of strength, of course, with Belle, Haruhime, and I think it was Ryu on the team. Today, I was able to do a clear on my own separately. I wasn't, trying anything super special. I was just trying to see if it was even possible, and I was able to clear with this team. Now, this team is featuring probably my weakest wind DPS unit in the form of Wind Eyes, and by that what I mean is that my Wind Eyes is only a 0. Now, along with that, I am also taking Haruhime and Harmonia as well, along with Aphrodite, and effectively what I'm trying to do is, you might be wondering, why am I running double supports, when Haruhime and Harmonia do effectively the same thing. Well, one, Harmonia drops a field effect first and foremost that you can then stack on top of it with Haruhime's own effects. So it's a double up effectively. We're doubling it up. We're making sure that the uptime on the effects is positive always. And along with that, Harmonia is very special in terms of how much damage she can actually do. Now, my Harmonia is only A2, so her real damage comes at A3 and A4, really. More so A4, but at even A1, I would say that this Harmonia will do more than just fine. Now, why I say A1 is because A2 is not really required here. I'm running A2 Harmonia, but I barely use her first skill. Her first skill, in my opinion, is actually probably her weakest part of the skill. It's useful, but not extremely useful in my personal opinion. So we're just going to keep her A1 in, or her first skill in the back pocket, and we're going to focus on primarily using her other skills, her special move and her second skill, to help out the team. Now, of course, if you guys go on to enjoy this video, please be sure to leave a like, all that sort of good stuff, of course. And if you guys go on to enjoy this one, especially so, remember to subscribe to the channel for more content, and let me know your guys' thoughts and were you able to clear the test of strength. Let me know in the comment section down below. I'm curious to see how you guys perform. Now, without further ado, let's get into the fight, and I will show you guys my entire set at the end of this run. So if you want to check out exactly what I'm running and everything, be sure to check out the end of this video. We're gonna do it then. We're gonna go in more detail and show you guys everything that I used at the end of this run. Now, initially when I went into this run, when I first did it, I was like super not confident. I was like, this is going to be a bit tricky, I know that a lot of people have been finding this difficult, and I know with my A2 Wind Bell, I didn't cut it fine, but I definitely was, on the side of like, okay, this is a little bit more challenging than what I thought it was going to be. So I wasn't entirely sure, but then I used Harmonia, and I didn't realize how good she would be, to be honest, because she's able to effectively just outperform everything I thought she was going to do. Like, she does... Well, one, she is able to break the shield massively, and number two, look on the right hand side and see how fast Ice's ult is able to regenerate. This is one thing I did not realize about Harmonia, is her ability to regenerate her own skills is ridiculously impressive. It is unreal how much she can actually regenerate her own skill. It's crazy, and how fast she can regenerate other people's special moves as well, because of the way her attacks are. So on her attacks, she's able to effectively do a sort of consecutive attack effectively, which is able to generate the ults a lot faster. And what that means is you're basically getting a lot more out of Harmonia than you would expect. I mean, look at this. We're almost already at a 25% of the HP of the dragon, which is not something I ever thought I'd see, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie. it's just seriously impressive, to be honest. It's seriously impressive. Now, the way I'm using Harmonia is primarily I'm using her second skill to basically just effectively debuff the enemy, and then I'm going for the normals to basically charge up her ultimate as fast as possible, at least one string of the ultimate to charge up the ult as much as possible. That way, effectively, I'm getting as much damage as possible from eyes, of course, because my eyes is weak, right? I can confirm this. My eyes is just terribly weak, sadly. This is just how it is. But what I'm trying to do here is just see if I can effectively deal enough damage. I mean, look at how much damage she's doing on her this as well. It's insane. Alright, we'll use Haruhime here to just basically get this out of the way. We'll use Hermes to just do a little bit more damage that way. And then we'll do this. And like, yeah, come on. Like, this is ridiculous. We're able to just deal so much damage to Cadmus when his shield is broken. And we're already good to go. Now, all we need to do is just rely on effectively a little bit of support here and there. And of course, the ability to just make sure that we're using the skills as often as possible. I'm going to use Aphrodite here, do this, use Haruhime here as well. Now remember, the other reason why I'm using Haruhime as well is because I can effectively take advantage of what is in this situation effectively damage reduction. In case I get hit by Cadmus for any reason whatsoever, I am in a position where I'm taking less damage. That is the idea. But yes, like I said, use Harmonia's first and second skills. That's what you need to primarily utilize. That is where you're going to be basically taking advantage of her skills the most. And you have to remember that that is going to be super important. Make sure her field is up as often as possible. Try and recover it as quickly as you can, of course. Remember, her field is up for like 30 seconds as well. So you have more than enough time. But, of course, you want to just, obviously do as much there as possible as well. Alright, now we gotta dodge these things because these things are very annoying, by the way. I hate these thingies. There we go. And now we can just do this. Break. There we go. It's ridiculous. We can easily break that shit. Easily. There we go. I'm gonna switch to Harmonia. I was gonna say, like, what do I do here? And then I was like, wait, Harmonia. Bring out Harmonia. Okay, we got very lucky here. So let's just bring out this again. And then we can do this. Nice. See, this is exactly what we need. Alright, boom. Beautiful stuff. You love to see it. Like, look at the damage, man. Look at the damage. We're already at quarter his HP now. Cadmus is nothing in comparison to what Harmonia is able to do. Of course, I'm going to show you guys another team that I used later on as well, which was the Bell Haruhime Ryu team as well. That team also can work fairly well. But yeah, this is the team I primarily used for in today's run, just to get an idea on exactly what can be done here. And honestly, like I said, this is a perfect example of a team that will work. Honestly, it just works so smoothly. All right, let me just run over here and then do this. Okay, there we go. Just had to dodge everything basically, and we'll just do this. There we go. Nice stuff. Okay, gotta dodge this as well before I get absolutely murked. Because this guy is getting, acting a little bit suspicious here, but we'll be fine. There we go. And honestly, this run's already gotten much better than my previous run, so good signs, I suppose. Good signs. There we go, and then do this. Okay, he's got to bring up his shield sooner rather than later. Surely, shield anytime soon, buddy. Okay, I don't think he wants to bring out his shield. That's fine. We'll just go for the ult here. And then we'll do Harmonia here so that we can do this. I should also remind people that using Aphrodite early is also a very good idea because obviously of her cooldowns and stuff. Her cooldowns are very finicky. So you want to use her ults as soon as possible so that you can basically take advantage of it. There we go. That was a little bit closer than I should have made it, to be honest. And to be honest, this run has been closer. I was able to clear it earlier on with like 40 seconds to spare. This one was unnecessarily closer because we're done there. I let go of the mouse too quickly there. I did let go of the mouse a little bit too quickly there. But yes, that is probably the easiest run I've had compared to that was probably one of the easier runs I've had in a test of strength, is what I should say specifically, not one of the easier runs that I've had now. Like, honestly, I'd probably say the previous Cadmus reincarnate thing was probably a little bit harder, in my opinion. Yeah, I think part 1's test of strength was a little bit harder than this one. So that is the team I ran for this test of strength. I'll show you guys this skits and everything. With eyes, it was all about running Lafia, a Goliath robe, no other battle items. Scene cards wise, I had Rabbit of Plenty, guess I'd better bring out my reserves too, and Diva Harmonia. In terms of the ability board, I obviously have Eyes at only stage 4 on the first page. The second page is not unlocked at all. And even Lafia, I think, is the exact same. Lafia is also very much the same, has no ability board investments compared to other units, like level 4 is where it's at, and that's it. Haruhime, on the other hand, is all about having Hermes, because obviously, if you guys don't know, Hermes got the buff where he's able to get a better special move gauge boost and stuff, right? So helps out a little bit there. Haruhime's lunch, which is of course an old battle item. You can probably run one of the more modern battle items, including ones from the Abyssal Exploration. I think that will also work. I just run this because obviously better HP recovery from the characteristic and stuff like that helps out a little bit, right? You have Kantu, Sprightly Sword Princess, and Perfect Sprint Day for Adventure. Two free-to-play cards, and Kantu is of course a great card to have as a sort of like, oh, you get a free ultimate immediately kind of thing, right? So it's super nice for that purpose. But in all honesty, if you have the new one, the My Hero card, that also works. It's the same exact card. It is exactly the same card as well. So there you have it. Now, Harmonia and Aphrodite probably are running more expensive scene cards and stuff, you could say, right? Because for one, their ability board investment is much higher. Their ability board investment is all the way into the second page. At least Harmonia's is. Aphrodite's is nowhere near. I don't think I've even invested into Aphrodite's ability board yet. Yeah, not even a single panel. Not even a single panel at all. Yeah, Aphrodite is somebody I'm still going to be working on sooner rather than later. But yes, Harmonia, on the other hand, has had a lot of investment already. First page is done, and we're on to the second page as well there. So that is something to keep in mind. And then in terms of the scene cards and everything, these are all like Battle Pass focused scene cards. Knight of Familiar Pride, Battle Pass. Goddess at Work, Battle Pass. Bell and Hestia Celebration, Battle Pass. So this is wind damage, normal attack damage, and of course action skill damage. And that's what we primarily are using in terms of Harmonia, right? First skill deals damage, second skill deals damage, normal attack deals damage, special move doesn't deal damage, so we don't need that. So just a little bit more damage to help her out, especially in the offensive side, because realistically we don't need her to have any sort of supportability based scene cards just yet. Of course, once we get the paid limited scene card, right, for making 7,000 paid sale loss, or even a 1,000 paid sale loss purchase, I should say, I think you know, once we get that scene card, where is it? It's this one, right? It's this one. Yeah. There was an update to it. Let me just check what it is. There it is. But getting the scene card is going to help her out majorly, I would say 100%, 110%. So yeah, that's what I think is going to happen. And I think she's going to be a lot stronger as well. So of course, that is one team you can run. And of course, to be honest, I also feel like you could probably run something else on her as well when it comes to that scene card selection. I think you could go for a more free-to-play based version as well. You could go for the new scene card even as well, actually. Instead of this Bell and Hestia Celebration, I'd argue to say you could run the scene card and it would probably be better for Harmonia, because one, you'll be able to get better heals as well. You'll be able to get a bit of a better stat bonus as well. 44% magic technically would be 22% damage in theory, right? And then you of course have the intelligence and dexterity bonuses, which helps out much more than these bonuses that we have over here on the top scene card, right? So theoretically that is a better scene card. Instead of normal attack damage, you could go for potentially you could go for what else could you go for? You could go for any other stats-based scene card. I don't know. I just think that these two scene cards are just too good, man. The first two scene cards, the Knight of Familiar Pride and Goddess at Work, is just too good. So I think you can just get rid of the scene card for the free-to-play one, and then you're fine, kind of thing. But yeah, I think you can just make do with whatever you have. It's not really too much of a problem. And then of course this one's the other expensive one, you could say, with the special move damage bonus one. It's really strong. This is probably one of the best scene cards in the game, especially with how many wind units we have. You know, it's just such a versatile scene card to have. You can use it on Otarl, you can use it on Bell, you can use it on Eyes, Wind, Ryu, so on and so forth. So it's just such a good scene card to have. It's just a very, very excellent scene card to have. Now, the other team I ran was, well, somewhat of an iteration of this. It was more so that I used, I think it was, I used Haruhime instead of Harmonia, and I used Hermes instead of this. Actually, pretty much similar team to this, actually, in terms of Haruhime and Hermes. It's just that the last unit, I think, was Ryu and somebody else, because I hadn't summoned on Harmonia and Aphrodite yet, and then this side was Bell and Eyes, of course, right? So one thing I'm gonna do just right now is I'm gonna use Bell and Eyes. I'm gonna avoid using Harmonia at all, completely in this run if possible. One thing I'm gonna just do is I'm gonna switch over some of the battle items and stuff, because obviously I used certain battle items that Harmonia has, and I will give myself also. What did I use? I think I might have used Berserker Ring just because the strength bonus and the normal attack damage boost. I think it might have been that. Alright. And this was the team I used, basically. So Haruhime plus Bell. That was the key way to go about it. Ryu did help a little bit, but I wouldn't say to an extensive amount, you know, in that sense. She definitely did her a bit to contribute supportability-wise, but yeah, you could probably run Otarl in that position as well, or somebody else who's able to support Asfi, good defense drops and stuff like that, right? So keep that in mind. So yeah, it's something you can run as well. Now I'm just gonna do this and do this. All right, we'll use this as well. Bring in Bell again, and then we'll just do this. And now we just go off on him, on this guy, basically, as much as we can. And you can see the damage difference between Bell and Eyes is just significant. It's just 2 grand of a difference, you could say. Even just Bell just explodes damage wise, and of course my Bell is a little bit higher in Awakenings, so hence why. And it's why one of the reasons why I wanted to show you guys Bell, or I wanted to show you guys Eyes instead of Bell, because if my Eyes at A0 is able to perform this way, then your Eyes at my Eyes at A0 was able to help out that way. Then I would probably say that you guys can probably run somebody like Bell at A0, for example, in the similar fashion. That's my personal 2 cents on that matter, to be quite honest. So yeah, all right, we need to go over here. I'm gonna bring out Haruhime. I'm gonna use this as well to help out a little bit more, and we'll do this as well. There we go. And then we'll just drop the ultimate there, so that we basically can deal some chip damage as well while we're here. And then we'll just do this. And yeah, the thing is, right, people may not realize this, but Haruhime still gets the benefit of the special gauge bonus that Hermes gives when you're using here, when you use this assist skill and switch out. There is a still noticeable difference there, which is very impressive in all honesty. It's very, very nice, I will admit. That's why I'm able to get the ults up so quickly with Haruhime as well, thanks to not only Harmonia, but like just because of Hermes as well. Hermes is a great option to run on Haruhime now, I think. That's 100% certain. Let's do this. Do this. I think we gotta use Haruhime here, because I noticed that Haruhime's buff had disappeared already. And yeah, you can tell that it's a stark difference. We're already at literally like 25% of this guy's HP with 3 minutes to go. Like, it's so much faster than the other one. And I haven't changed anything. All I just did was equip Bell and the assist eyes from the anniversary. Again, it just shows the difference between obviously having Awakenings on a unit and all that sort of jazz. Like I said, I think you can still do it with no Awakenings. Harmonia, I would say you need to have at A1. I think Haruhime at least A1 is important as well. But I would say the integral thing is, of course, make sure Harmonia is A1, at least in my opinion. Or you could try and do it with A0, but I think A1 would just make it so much easier. You would have a much smoother run, or one of the two actually. Let me reiterate what I said there. I think you should have either A1 Harmonia or either A5 Haruhime. It's got to be one of the two, basically, because you need that wind damage. That wind damage helps out so much, so having one of the two is effectively a guaranteed way to success. I think that's the most important thing, because if you have one or the other, you will be able to be in a better position to easily beat the enemy as well. And of course, so that means if you have A0 Harmonia or A5 and A5 Haruhime, you're fine. If you have A1 Harmonia and A4 Haruhime, you're fine. Or anywhere between A2, A3, or A4, or A1 even, for that matter. So just keep that in mind, and I hope this video could help you guys out in some way, shape, or form in terms of using Harmonia, how did I do it, and stuff like that. Keep in mind, the idea is to use Harmonia to effectively get her up, fields up and everything, get Haruhime stuff up as well, and then get going with Bell, Eyes, or whoever it is. Basically, you need the debuffs from Harmonia as well on the E. You need to get going with that front. Now, of course, if you don't have Harmonia, you can try and use Osfi as well. She is featured. I'm assuming you guys pulled her quite a few times, just like me. So you want to use her Osfi as well, debuff the enemy, inflict those poison burns, whatever she can inflict, right? And then use Bell, Eyes, or whoever it is to just take advantage of it. Use them to help you out massively. You could also use some cheesier strats as well, technically, by using things like Blazing Sword and its ability to inflict burn. I think there's one more item here. This one, I think this one inflicts poison, has a chance to inflict poison. So take advantage of these items, these battle items that are just dealing extra effects, and use them to basically deal more damage. You could also use scene cards that help you out with those things as well, because there are certain scene cards like Pumpkin Knight that can actually reduce your special move cooldown if the enemy is poisoned. Same thing with Golden Time. We know how good these are, right? And they also, at a higher awakening, if I'm not mistaken, or higher limit break, I should say, they're able to inflict more special move damage when the enemy is poisoned or burned. So, and burnt for Golden Time, of course. So take advantage of these scene cards if you can, and use them to your advantage, because it'll help you out tremendously. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, remember to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Until then, take it easy, everybody. Bye bye.